I'm Benny Eulich, and I'm a hoarder. When I was in the second grade, the principal of my school wanted to give kids incentive to do exceptional good deeds. So he was stocking his office with cool goodies and prizes for these exceptional kids. At this point, Pokemania was in full swing and the Pokemon card game was new.
If you guys don't know what Pokemon is, you're in need of some serious remedial toy education.
And word had gotten out that he had base set booster packs in his office for really good kids. So I started behaving way better than usual. I was picking up after other people, I was being super kind and generous to everyone around me, and I went out of my way to make sure that teachers saw me being friendly and nice to everyone. And eventually, it worked. I was called down to the principal's office, and for something good this time. He thanked me for being kind and friendly or generous or picking up or whatever it was for, and he gave me a Tootsie Roll Pop because he was out of Pokemon cards. So eventually, I got my own Pokemon cards myself because I like Pokemon in a general sense. But eventually, I actually learned how to play the game, which was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. But also opening card packs, hoping for something rare or powerful, or in some cases, looking for a specific card that adds to your deck is a lot of fun. It gives you a rush. I mean, it's gambling with toys. And I was all about it. Give me that dopamine, baby! There was even a period of time where my dad was taking me and my brother to the Pokemon trading card game league that they held at Toys R Us once a week.
Are you ready to be the ultimate Pokemon Master Trainer?
Yes, I think I am.
And I played for years. And then Yu-Gi-Oh! Came to town. This was cooler than Pokemon. It had more unique monsters, and it was a longer, more strategic game, and bigger numbers to keep track of on the cards. 3,000 attack? That's insane! Also, Pokemon had a TV show too, but Yu-Gi-Oh's TV show was about the card game.
It's time to
Drop all my money on these cards. I was a little less involved in the Yu-Gi-Oh community than I was with Pokemon, but that's because with this game, I didn't need to be. I had a play group with friends from church, friends from school, friends from our apartment complex. We knew way more kids that were actively playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I played this game for years and years. I grew with Yu-Gi-Oh! I'd made friends as an adult because of Yu-Gi-Oh! This was relaxing and calming for me. And I put so much money into this hobby. I even got my wife to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Then they burned me. So I've moved across the country a few times, which basically means restarting your playgroup. And I also became a dad in my mid-20s, which means I didn't have quite as much time to play. So I unintentionally took a little bit of a hiatus from Yu-Gi-Oh! I'd play when I had the chance, and I'd occasionally buy new cards, but for the most part, I wasn't involved anymore. I was a casual player. Over those years, there were new mechanics that I didn't completely understand, and new card types that went over my head. But I did my best to follow it and try to update my deck accordingly when I could. But when I was ready to get back into the game for real, I learned how much the game had really changed. It wasn't just card types and mechanics that I needed to learn now. It was in some ways a completely different game. What would sometimes be a long strategic game could often be played in just a few turns now. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but that really does seem to be the nature of where the game's gone. If you're not popping off on your first turn, you really should be scooping your deck and leaving the table. Because of this experience, I'd sworn off trading card games. I had put so much time and money into Yu-Gi-Oh! And to be able to update my decks in such a way that I could actually play competitively, I'd practically have to start over. Every deck I have is practically useless at this point. But this decision was really hard. Like, I love card games. And not even just Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! I played the Star Wars customizable card game, My Little Pony card game, and Redemption. Yeah, let me tell you about Redemption real quick. Redemption is meant to be an alternative to something like Pokemon or Magic the Gathering, but it's all Bible themed. Your goal is to save lost souls to win the game. The equivalent of your attackers are your Bible heroes, and the defenders are the bad guys. This way you don't have Moses fighting Noah, because that doesn't make sense. It might sound kind of silly or corny for there to be a Bible card game, and yeah, maybe it is, but I specifically think it's cool that Redemption is its own unique game with its own unique mechanics, instead of being a reskinned game with slapped on Bible characters. Anyways, moving on. A few years after I started my trading card boycott, I went to my local game store to get some Magic cards for my brother-in-law. He plays the game, and I wanted to make sure that I was getting him something that was actually good. So I started asking questions, and I learned a lot, and with every question, I unintentionally became interested. So I downloaded the free-to-play digital version, MTG Arena, and it really didn't take me long to get into the game. And I went out and I bought some standard format decks for me and my wife to play together, and my sister convinced me to buy a commander deck for me and her to play together. And I fell in love with the commander format specifically, so like now between me and my wife and the deck I built for my son, I have 9 commander decks. So we can look at a few of my cards, I guess. This is Ixel, Scion of Atraxa. This is my first commander deck. I actually didn't customize it or anything. The main focus of the deck is using Toxic, which is an ability that gives your opponent poison counters, and once your opponent has 10 poison counters, they lose the game. So this is the commander of my dragon deck. This is Atla Polani. She creates eggs that when they're destroyed, they'll pull out other creatures from the top of my deck, and the idea is that I'll pull out strong dragons. This is Atarka, who's a powerful dragon himself, but it makes it so other dragons can attack twice. Drakaseth is able to deal additional damage when it attacks, and Lathlis creates dragons when I play dragons. And so here's the deck I built for my son. It's a dinosaur deck. A lot of the focus is just raw power, so it can be kind of straightforward, but I still built it to be good. This is the commander is Gashath, Sun's avatar. It's relatively powerful in itself, but it also, when it deals damage, it can bring out more dinosaurs. We've got another powerful guy, our Zakama. By paying mana, you can either deal damage, destroy an artifact or enchantment, or heal some life. We've got a powerful dinosaur that costs less for each spell you've cast this turn. Another really powerful dinosaur that just lets you play a bunch more dinosaurs, playing more dinosaurs. And then this one's kind of fun. So it's relatively powerful, but it has an ability that lets you transform it. So you flip it over. It's now more powerful, and it deals poison counters for the amount of damage it deals to a player. So it could be an instant kill. Okay, and so now I'll talk about the deck I play the most. It's my favorite commander deck. The story about how this was built is kind of fun. This was actually a gift from my sister and my brother-in-law. I built the initial deck list. It's a deck I was playing on Arena. My brother-in-law updated it and improved it and sent it to me. And since then, I have updated it and changed it some, and so it's been a collaborative effort, but it's a deck that means a lot to me. The original commander was Adeline. Her power was equal to the amount of creatures that I had on the field, and the idea was that I wanted to have as many creatures as I could on the field at a time, so I had lots of cards like Martial Coup that creates lots of creatures, and Evangel of Heliod, and Captain's Call, and Leonin War Leader, Visions of Glory, Nomad's Assembly, Mass Production, one of my favorites, Rabble Rousing. All of these create more creatures. And then I have a card like Mondrak, which doubles the amount of creature tokens that I create. And I loved that deck. But then, when opening packs, I pulled Osier Talk, which became my new commander. While it's on the field, it triples the amount of token creation. So it's my commander now. Once I really get going, I usually have 20 or more creatures on the field at pretty much all times. It has not been uncommon for me to have 70 or more, and I have hit like 140. Hopefully that last part, me going over some of the cards, was actually interesting. I still play Pokemon from time to time too. I won't show you all those cards. I've been playing with my son. We actually built our decks together. I will show you that I have the box that we bought together. It's a build box where you get cards to basically like draft and build 2 decks together. It's been really cool to experience that with him. There are some other games that I've been interested in trying too. Like Disney Lorcana looks really cool. The new Star Wars Unlimited game just came out. I know nothing about it, but I'm interested in it since I like Star Wars. There's also a One Piece game, and I have a few cards of characters I like, but I've never played, and I don't know that I will.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Well, cool. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. It makes me feel good. Give me that dopamine, baby! If you want to see more videos like this one, and the ones that aren't like this one, you can subscribe to this channel. Alright, well, I've got to go pay 3 mana to take a nap. Bye!